good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you're joining us from the world, and welcome to today's town hall. Today's session will be a one-on-one with the current chair, with the chair-elect, and with our past chair for the Quality Management Division. The session will be recorded. The session is divided into two segments. The first will begin with current chair talking about their Quality Management Division, and then the chairs will be asked questions and they'll be answering those questions in a preset orders. The order would be that we would start with the current chair, we'll go to the chair-elect, and then we'll move on to the past chairs for the questions. And then the second segment will be more interactive, where the audiences will be asking their questions directly, and our moderator, Doug, would also be bringing up questions that we have received previously via the email. So we will try to address as many questions as possible during this session. And you would have an email go out within 48 hours from this time, where your 0.5 RU for attending this session will be presented to you. You would also have contact for all of the 6 presenters. If you want to reach out to them for any direct questions, you certainly are welcome to. And then we will also be selecting 5 attendees randomly, who would be then given a $20 Visa gift card. At the end, you would also receive a survey from us in that email. Please attempt, it's a very simple 5-question survey. And from that survey also, we would be picking out randomly 1 lucky winner for attending to the survey. So with that, my name is Shobha Mittal. I am the Vice Chair of Education and Webinars Quality Management Division. I will be moderating today's session with Doug Wood. Doug, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Doug Wood. I am past Vice Chair of Webinars, and I assist Shobha in running these now. The webinars are a thing that QMD set up about 7 or 8 years ago. We figured a way to do education as a division. So we've also trained other divisions, okay, in how to do this. And so many other ASQ units have kind of learned from what we put together here. But this is really exciting to have so many past chairs speaking for us.
Thank you, Doug. So let's start today's session. We will begin with each chair introducing themselves, starting with Ellen, who's our current chair.
Thanks, Shobha. Hi, everyone. I'm Ellen Quinn. I'm the current chair of Quality Management Division. I hold 2 of the certifications from ASQ, the Certified Manager of Quality Organizational Excellence, and the CQIA, which is the Certified Quality Improvement Associate. Thanks, and I'm looking forward to talking to everybody today. So over to Luis.
I had to unmute myself. Hello, everyone. I'm Luis Morales. I have the honor of being the chair-elect for another year of QMD. I've been a member for about 30 years. I have 3 ASQ certifications, CQM OE, CQIA, and 6 Sigma Green Belt. I've held various ASQ leadership positions. I've been chair of 2 sections, 2 regions, and I was a member of the board of directors. I'm a doctoral candidate at Capella, a DBA in leadership and organizational development, so it aligns very well with what we do here in QMD and beyond. I'm a retired Army officer for 22 years, been married a while, have 5 very talented grandchildren. And it's a pleasure to be here today and share some of the successes, challenges for QMD. Again, it's an honor to be with you today. Thank you. Who's next?
It's Denis.
Denis, thank you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's so great to see everyone here. My name is Denis Devos. I'm the immediate past chair. So to 2022 and 2023, I've been a member of ASQ for 28 years. I was elected a fellow of the society about 10 years ago, and I've been actually on this leadership team at QMD with most of these folks for 10 years. So welcome, and we look forward to hearing from each and every one of you.
Thank you. Jerry?
I'm
Jared?
Jerry Rice. I'm the one that has to be different than everybody else, I guess. Actually, my computer won't handle that fancy background. So I was the chair of QMD from 2018 and 2019. I've been an ASQ member leader since 1997. I'm currently on the board of directors and on the ASQE board of directors and ASQ Technical Communities Council Advisory Board. And I'm a quality leader at Mercury Wire in Spencer. So I'm still working.
And we appreciate that, Jerry.
JD.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today from all over the place. We're so happy to have you here. My name is JD. I've been with ASQ for over 32 years, I believe, and with most of this team for almost as long. I am an ASQ fellow. I have the Certified Manager of Quality of Organizational Excellence, the Certified Six Sigma Black Belt, and CQE. I've been over 35 years in industry and executive leadership in quality, manufacturing operations, and lean. And currently, I am a vice president of quality for ZF, which is based in Germany, for the ZF Group's ADAS and electronics division. ADAS is the Advanced Driver Assistance Program. So anything in electronics and airbags, that's what I get to do. But this is an amazing, amazing group. Thank you. And we go to Grace.
Hi there, I'm Grace Duffy. I can't remember when I was past chair. I think it was 1999 to 2001. Like JD, I've been with ASQ forever. 1993, I joined. I've been a section chair. I joined Charleston, South Carolina section in 1993 and served as a program chair and chair-elect and chair. And then I got involved with the Quality Management Division. JD and I both led the Certified Manager of Quality of Organizational Excellence group. Jerry Rice has also been very, very involved in the exams. All of us are CMQOEs. I've been on the board as well twice with ASQ and a vice president of ASQ. So that's been kind of fun. And then, yeah, I've got 45 years of experience. I'm president of Management and Performance Systems. I just work with anybody who wants to learn about quality, and I advise with ASQ with Quality Management Division and a couple of the other divisions as well, as I turn into Aunt Grace rather than an active member. Thank you. Let me turn it back to
me.
Shoba.
Got it.
All right, so thank you all so much. Cheers for your introductions. I will now invite Ellen to talk to us about Quality Management Division.
Right. Well, thanks, Shoba. You're probably wondering, well, maybe not, what is QMD? Well, Quality Management Division, we're the largest international group of quality professionals, and that we act as a driving force to find and support the current and future needs of global quality. Our mission is to convey lifelong quality-related knowledge through information, methods, and tools that add value to organizations, society, and individuals. Like I said, we are the largest. QMD has over 50% of all ASQ members, and we're so happy that you are here. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Shoba. So,
Right. Thank you so much, Ellen. Now, for those of us who aspire to become chairs or leaders such as you, I would ask each one of you to answer a question. What was your path in becoming a division's chair? We'll start with Ellen.
Thanks. Thanks, Shoba. I've been a member of ASQ for over 20 years, like a lot of the folks that are on the panel this morning. And I was part of the QMD the whole time, and I joined the council early on. So I started out in marketing. I was the VC of marketing, and then I went to be the chair-elect and then the chair. And that journey has been really wonderful because I've met all the wonderful people that are currently, here as speakers. And I look forward to talking to everybody else. And it's always a challenge and a pleasure and a privilege to be the chair. So thanks, Shoba. We go to Luis next.
Thanks. Well, I've been involved, you heard, in ASQ since about 95, 96, when I was the quality manager in US Army. I think I was the first quality manager leading our Baldrige effort in what it still is the Army Communities of Excellence, modeled after Baldrige. And one of our mentors, advisors, said, "Have you thought about ASQ?" I said, "What's ASQ?" And they told us about ASQ. And then doing the research, I immediately joined QMD. And then, when some of them was online, and I needed more, so I joined the sections up north in Northern Virginia, did all that. Lost touch with QMD, and after I left the service, I became a consultant with Booz Allen and then Northrop Grumman, where I met this lady, smiling there in Northrop Grumman, and they got more involved with Quality Management Division. After I did my giving back through sections and regions, and I was on the board, I stayed in touch with Quality Management Division. Then, I turned out there and I contacted Ellen and I said, "What can I do with Quality Management Division?" She said, "We need help in our content management committee." So I did that, and I was serving in that. And then I, attended the leadership meetings, and I felt, as an Army officer, you're always looking at helping with leadership. And then I got some whispers, "Hey, we need help. Think about, elevating your leadership here with QMD." And I said, "I think I can do that." So I threw my hat in, and lo and behold, the VCs supported that effort, and I was elected chair-elect. So we have a saying in the military, when with the emptiness or lack of leadership, I'm not going to say lack of leadership. If you see an opportunity, step in. And so I said, I think I can. And so I'm, again, thankful to those who saw something, and I hope to continue that effort here with moving QMD, the greatness that it is, and continue that greatness. I yield.
Denis
was over
next.
a minute. I'm sorry.
Nope. Thank you. Thanks, Luis. I think Denis is next.
Path to QMD leadership. Right. So when I joined ASQ back in 1996, I joined my local section and became a section chair in Kitchener, Ontario, and then joined several divisions, including Quality Management Division. And, like a lot of you, I didn't really know a lot about what divisions were. I really wasn't as involved in divisions at all. I was active in the section, right? I was section chair for a while and active more locally. And then it was really once I started getting more involved with conferences. I would go to the Audit Division conference. I would go to the QMD conference and the World Conference. And over time, I met wonderful folks that you have here in front of you this morning. I kind of wandered by the booth one day and met Ellen and Jerry and others, and we got talking, and they sort of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, do you want to be more involved?" And I said, well, maybe. What do you have in mind? So about 10 years ago, I was working under Ellen at the time. She was in a marketing VC position, and she brought me on as a global liaison, recognizing that, we had members around the world and we wanted to sort of give them equal opportunity, right? I mean, it's easy to kind of fall into a United States centric sort of a mode. So my whole job as the deputy VC was global outreach. So we were able to get names of all the global members, and I was emailing them constantly and getting to know members from around the world and supporting our executive. And then it was really that membership outreach that kind of hooked me, and I wanted to stay engaged with this group and I wanted to do more. So as time went on and the folks here got to know me a little bit better, Ellen and others and Jerry and Grace decided that I might be a suitable chair, and I was honored to be offered that position and to kind of bring what I had experienced in ASQ, it being so rewarding professionally and personally, and being able to serve members in that role. So kind of a natural progression, but really my message to all of you would be just put your hand up and get involved, and you never know, you might be here one day too.
Thanks, Dennis. I think we go to Jerry next.
Yeah, so I became an ASQC member back in 1989. So I went to many of the section meetings for about 6-7 years, and then got tapped to help with the leadership team with the section. And so I was the program chair, the database chair, membership chair, and then became the chair-elect and chair of the section. And then I was asked to become the deputy regional director. Did that for about 3-4 years, and then the ASQ CMQOE exam asked if I would join their team, and so I did that for about 8 years as a liaison and had different roles with the exam, and then joined the executive council for QMD and was the membership chair, operations, or VC membership, VC operations, and then became the vice chair and chair. And then from there, that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Jerry. I think we go to JD next.
Hey, everybody. So for me, I was never really in the sections. I was traveling too much to even know that the sections existed. I ended up at a ASQ conference, had a blast, got corralled by 2 previous fellows, Bill Denis and Art Trepanier, and they said, "Hey, you should join our team. We have a lot of fun." And the problem is if you have the inability to say no, you get a lot of tasks in the quality management division. So I ended up with a lot of tasks. I've been with Jerry and most of this team on the cert board committee, the certification board, helping to write exams across the world. Keep in mind, in these teams, this is global. We make a difference in what everybody across the world can be certified in. We help write the questions. We help to vet them out and make sure that they're valid for people that are in our kinds of positions so that they can do the right things in their jobs. So as a heavy volunteer across these roles, you build a lot of friendships and you get a lot of networking. A lot of my jobs have been through cross coordinating through people in ASQ in terms of if I need professional advice, what's the best kind of software that people are using out there for gauging, for example, or something like that. Instead of trying to do a cold set of research, you've got this cool group of people that you can ask these questions of and get real live feedback. This is the best, that stinks, these kinds of things. And then if you stuck with a problem at work, you can share that too in a private way and get some good directional advice. This is the strongest quality team in the world. There's nothing better out there. To me, it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this group. So being a chair, it was just a natural thing to help make a difference throughout the rest of the group. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, good, and thank you, JD. I appreciate that. I came up through the chairs or through the section as others have talked about. When I joined Trident Technical College in South Carolina, I was in charge of the quality certificate for the state technical college system. I had spent 20 years in IBM and got involved in the early market-driven quality programs and had written a bunch of the process work in some of the think tanks in IBM. So when I joined the college, somebody took me to my first ASQ meeting and I was hooked. I love how people share with ideas and colleagues. I call it sharing shamelessly. And we are colleagues. We combine our ideas and make them stronger. So I loved being in the section in South Carolina. So I was there with the Air Force. I was there with many large corporations. I was president and CEO of the Trident Area Community of Excellence. And so I got involved at not only the section level, but at the executive level within the community and training some of the Baldrige examiners for the state. So all of that kind of tied into being active with ASQ. And then as I retired from IBM as head of corporate technical education, when they put a call out for help to put together the body of knowledge for the quality manager exam, I raised my hand and got involved in those very, very, very early days. So at that point, I got a couple of members or mentors from the Quality Management Division, and they pretty well brought me up, and I got involved in many of the same positions that others have already talked about today. So I made it up into chair by volunteering, doing what Jerry and JD and others have talked about. Raise your hand, get involved, maybe join other sections. I don't want to be disloyal to QMD, but the QMD is the foundation. That body of knowledge is the foundation of how we run a business. The other industry sections help us to then translate what we do in leadership into other disciplines. So the strength of what we get at QMD is really exciting. So I have so much enjoyed it, and my path is much the same as others. So thank you, Shobha. I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Grace. That was wonderful. So thank you, chairs, for talking to us about what your journey looked like. I will be handing it to Doug Wood now, my co-chair, my co-host, for going through the other segment. And I also want to comment that we are right on time for this section. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shobha. Okay, so next question kind of gets into the future. All right. I'm going to ask each of the past chairs to answer the question, what direction shall QMD go? In your opinion, where should QMD be headed, or where is QMD headed? I'll begin with Ellen.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Like I mentioned earlier, QMD is the largest division of ASQ. So I think our strength is in our volunteers from everywhere, from all around the world, and we need to continue that because that expands our knowledge base. And a lot of the other chairs or past chairs have talked this morning about sharing information and how wonderful it is to be able to ask questions and get answers if you're like stuck at work or something. So I think that is our direction, and it gives us a perspective on world quality. So thanks, Doug.
All right, Luis, you are next.
Well, and Ellen mentioned that we're the largest. We make up 55%, our members, those of you on the call with us today, 55% of ASQ's membership is in our division. So what direction, I see us, it's interesting when we meet with other leaders from the other divisions, simple things, we have a lot of the templates and all that our other professionals need, but simple things that the other divisions have not conquered. And the first one's like volunteer program. How do we handle volunteers? And they come to us, and a lot of you are volunteers, and the successes that we've had. So where are we headed down the road is solving things like that. Or today, we've got, you heard Shobha and Doug, co-host, handling the webinars is not a simple thing. So, Doug's been handling it for a long time, and we've broken that model, the pain in that. They share that responsibility. Succession planning, in industry, how do we handle stuff when we go off to a conference so that when we come back to work, we don't have 600 emails or whatever, succession planning and doing, management in depth. What a concept. It's been around for a long time. So where are we headed to stuff? And you heard Aunt Grace talk about, some of the things that she does in executive work. She takes to the stuff in sections or QMD she shares with executives. All right. So, my first class that I took with QMD, or rather ASQ, was a basics, quality basics. And I met this wonderful lady, Grace, and I had my CQIA certificate number 151 with ASQ, and it was Aunt Grace. Okay. So that where are we headed? Still sharing those templates, building those templates, improving those templates, and the simple basics to keeping our division successful. Thank you. Yeah, I get excited about it.
Thanks. I think Dennis, you're next.
You're next.
Yeah, definitely. I want to build on what Grace and Luis said in terms of, QMD's role in the future. ASQ and the whole world, face a lot of challenges. And as Grace said, QMD, the body of knowledge, the experience of the folks you have with us here in the room, really have a depth of knowledge that we ought to be able to bring to the wider society. You heard Luis giving examples of that. There's many more examples where QMD leads the way, right? When I started the global thing 10 years ago, nobody was talking about inclusion and DEI and other things. We just knew it was the right thing to do. Then ASQ, the wider society at headquarters, they took on the model that we created, and that was where, when you saw a few years ago, ASQ is going to be the global voice of quality. Well, we don't want to brag, but a lot of that was based on work that began right here in the QMD. So I think for the future, we need to take a bigger role in the wider society, right? Continue to be part of teams and working groups. We know the society faces, challenges around membership and other things, and we need to step up. We need to be tapped in a bigger and better way to share what we know and volunteer. There's tremendous power in folks like us who are willing to work hard for free. I really think there's a role to play in having us at the table addressing those challenges moving forward.
Thanks. I think Jerry's next.
Yeah, so I'm just going to pile on with what the others have said. Really, the biggest thing, or where we should be headed, is be able to share meaningful knowledge, whether it be webinars, articles, even get into podcasts, conferences, but really it's just us sharing knowledge with each other, and a lot of that should be like knowledge on demand. So we're all busy. A lot of times I know what I need when I need it, and as far as answers, and hopefully ASQ will be able to do that, and QMD will actually be able to help provide that knowledge. And there's some exciting news coming up for 2025 that you guys stay tuned. I think it's going to be a game changer as far as this area goes, about being able to share knowledge with each other.
Thanks, Jerry. I think JD, you're.
Yep. So we've built a really strong foundation in the Quality Management Division, and it's a platform. We need to continue to build on it and change and evolve with the rest of the world. And to do that, we provide content. We either provide it in a written format through articles, and that's what our volunteers do, or we do podcasts, which Jerry and Shoba are helping to facilitate, or we meet face-to-face at various conferences and we share content and information. So we're researching, developing, creating, and sharing all of that information. It's all put into one big, massive repository in the My ASQ. So if you want to see it when you need it, you can go in there and get it. We have a quality management forum, which has lots of articles and content which our people can go get. In terms of doing that, we need to be able to provide actionable information that our team members can use that's relevant to them here and now. We have many content management committees that specify, we have a quality 4.0 team that's amazing, putting together content on 4.0. We have a strategic planning, development, and deployment committee that's got over 12 countries represented on that particular team. So by doing these things, we're continuing to gather and collect information that's relevant to our membership base so that you can leverage it in the world that you live in to do the jobs that you need to do. And we want to be able to continue to provide you with that help and support.
Good, I appreciate that. And I'm Grace Duffy. Most of what, you know, I can say ditto to just about everything that my colleagues have talked about. But the basis of it is what you as our members are looking for. We as the leaders need to be the leaders of you who are coming to us for guidance, for support within a professional society. So we work with the voice of the customer that all of us teach in our quality classes. Some of the new regulations are making it more difficult to get survey information out and to get information from you that might border on personal. So the more you can volunteer with us, the more we can have direct contact with you and know where it is we can help and grow. So we want to work with you as mentors. We want to work with you as volunteers. Certainly the content management committees that JD just talked about and Jerry just mentioned are based on the different areas of the body of knowledge and quality management. So as all of us get involved thinking through additional information in those areas, we're strengthening our own ability and our own chance to give back to our corporations and to strengthen our own careers. So a professional society is exactly what that is. How do we help each other strengthen our own knowledge and strengthen our value to our careers and our organizations? Thank you. Shobha, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Grace. So we've heard what direction QMD is going or should be going. The next question I have for our 6 panelists, do you have some words of wisdom for upcoming member leaders in ASQ? And I'm going to begin with Ellen.
Thanks, Doug. Yes, of course, the biggest thing is patience, and that as a chair that you do have to have a lot of patience, and also always keep everyone in the loop and involved, and with the QMD council folks, everybody involved on what's going on at ASQ headquarters, because sometimes not everybody hears what's going on, including the TCC, which is the Technical Communities Committee, and other divisions. And then we love our volunteers. That's what you probably heard that from several people, several of the past chairs have talked about. And we want to make sure that they, we keep them in the loop on communication from their leads and what we're doing on a regular basis. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed being the chair. I mean, some people find it difficult, but I like it because I get a chance to talk to everybody, and especially at World Conference. So I'm going to turn it over to Luis. So thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Luis, you're next.
Thanks, Ellen. You know, we talk about models, we talk about tools, and I truly believe in Plan, Do, Check, Act. And so, the question is, what do we have for volunteers, recruitment, and retention? Look at lessons learned, okay? So as you step forward, somebody may have charged out before you. Reach out, ask for lessons learned, and you may not be the first one out there. See what were the trips, slips, and falls, and ask, what would you do, and then even ask, okay, here's what I'm thinking about, and then put it out there. We talk about pilots, trial balloons, whatever it is, small projects out there. Don't try something huge, and then it's going to really have a bad impact. Okay, so start small and then build large. Okay, the 8 steps of organizational change. Go for the small hanging fruit, all that good stuff. We have models out there. Try small. Okay, look at the lessons learned. Do the PDCA. It works. Some great men. So people have put it out there for a reason. Okay, that's my advice. All right, and I forget who goes behind me.
Dennis goes.
Dennis, thank you.
Luis is always a
Past
hard
chair,
one
there
to
you go.
follow. Whether you're going to be a member leader or maybe you're not going to be a member leader, but reach out, meet people, right? Network. Over the 28 years I've been involved in ASQ, I've got to say that the power of this society is just the ability to meet people, network, and form lifelong friendships. I have many, many friends that I've made in ASQ, many of you right here on the call today. If it wasn't for those personal connections that I've made with folks who are welcoming and outgoing, etc., without that, I wouldn't be sitting here this morning, right? I wouldn't have been engaged. So whether you're going to be a leader or just remain not a leader, reach out, take advantage of the huge network of quality professionals that we have, right? World-renowned experts in everything. You know, you want to read a book. Maybe you read Doug Wood's book and you reach out and you say, Doug, let's talk about cost of quality, right? That's the power of ASQ. And I really think that is the words of wisdom, if those are words of wisdom, that I would offer to you. Take advantage, meet everybody, be like a sponge and just soak it all in. And you'll really find that personally rewarding.
Thanks, Dennis. I think
Jerry.
Jerry's next.
Yeah, I would say that, for, addressing the upcoming member leaders, really just one thing, build a big team. And QMD does a great job at that. They have a huge leadership team with subcommittees. They actually have someone who just does recruiting. Actually, they're big enough to have more or less an HR manager for the volunteers. And so when I see that the divisions that are struggling, usually it's because they don't have a pipeline of leaders. Any division that is struggling, or if I could give any advice, build a big team.
So thank you, Jerry. And I think that's strong advice. I have to capitalize on Ellen. Patience is key. This is true. Yet for all of us, we're all different kinds of people, and we all can bring something to the table. And if you're looking to be any kind of member leader, there is something that anybody can help with. You can do something once or twice a year, once or twice a day. It just depends on what your bandwidth is and what your comfort level is. But everybody can contribute somehow across this team. If we look at all of the people on this group and everyone's got, 10, 15, 20 years, that's a lot of years of experience and expertise that we can leverage to literally help the world and global community. Your activity, your results, they help you position yourself professionally. It looks great on a resume. I can't tell you how many times my leaders have said, wow, you've done this, that, and the other. It really is powerful when you see this kind of it adds a lot of cachet and gravitas to your professionalism as you're in the world. So you can do anything to help. Ask, pack your patience, and just go along. It's a fun ride. It's been tremendous. Thank you.
Good, thanks, JD. I appreciate it. And JD was just exactly that. She came into a couple of my teams when we were first building the quality manager exam, and she was just an amazement. JD, you even fed us chocolate. It was wonderful. Jerry's right. Teams are fantastic, and you get to know each other, and those contacts help you in the years that follow. You never know where a contact is going to come from. And so with you as member leaders, as you get involved and you come in, and JD's right, you don't have to be involved every day. You can just reach out and touch here and there enough that you're comfortable with, but become visible, and then help folks who you're working with in this society become visible. Then all of you are going to gather more information. You don't want to let your new volunteers tread water. I've made the mistake many, many years ago of expecting and delegating the development of a new member leader to someone else without going back and reviewing. I lost some really good people not watching more closely. So keep people involved. keep yourself involved in tidy ways. The content management committees that JD talked about are a great way to get started based on your area of expertise across the body of knowledge for quality management. So other than that, I would say listen to what my precursors have talked about, and I will hand it back to Doug.
I think Shilva's going to
Shilva's
moderate
got
the
it
next bit.
now. Okay, got it.
Yeah, sorry, we've distributed between the two of us. So moving on to the next segment, which is a little different. So I'll be asking 3 questions to the chairs, but we'll be directing these questions to 3 of the 6 chairs, each 1 question. So starting with, what benefits did you receive in your careers by involvement in Quality Management Division? And I'm going to invite Louis for that first.
Hey. Yeah, yes, can me? Yes.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yeah, you, Louise.
So what did I receive in my career with involvement in QMD? I was able to model, this is good. I was able to model successful leadership behavior. Okay. So you've seen and heard our previous chairs, and I hope you've attained from them tidbits like listening to Grace just then. You know, and I've told you I had 22 years in service. One of there's 6 basic leadership principles, and the most important one is the last one: follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay. And she just gave an example of her own personal. Well, I've done it plenty of times. You can delegate, but if you don't follow up, okay, it may not get done. So over the years, you know, my involvement in QMD, this modeling, you've heard tidbits from everyone, from Ellen, from JD, from Denis, from Doug, okay, and Jerry, okay, of their personal leadership styles and management, okay. So, you know, you gather tidbits of what has been successful in their lives and during their periods of chairmanship, okay, periods of when they were chairs. And that's what I love. And something I want to add before I forget is what I really love about ASQ and QMD. You have these conversations during one of our leadership sessions or ASQ meeting or at conference. You go away, you come back a year later, and you can pick up a conversation like it was yesterday. All right. It's that care we have for each other and our professional lives and be it an ASQ, whatever. And this is wonderful. This is what I love. Somebody asked me, why do you keep going back to conference? I said, this is where I get fed. Okay? This is where I get fed because we have a certain trust with each other, and it's for our professional lives. And so what that I received in my career involvement at QMD is, you know, I mentioned that we're an integrator across ASQ, and is we all have different jobs in different career fields, but we're all in QMD. We're all in QMD, and we understand that. And so, what did I get? I can model, you know, that quality professional behavior from my peers here at QMD. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. I'm going to now invite Jerry. So, Jerry, what benefit did you receive in your career by your involvement in quality management?
For one thing, I landed a good job directly due to my QMD affiliation. So the recruiter actually mentioned that's how he found me, was looking at the QMD leadership team. And they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And then also that's not a one-off either. I've had several other recruiters specifically mention my ASQ leadership as what piqued their interest. And then also the other part that others have mentioned is I've made friends and have experts available anytime I get stumped. There is really no problem or no area of knowledge that if I don't know it, I know who does. So that's the best part.
Thank you, Jerry. Grace, what do you have to say about your involvement with QMD and the benefits in your career?
Well, QMD has been excellent for me, as well as my section involvement. But I've already mentioned that as soon as I got into Quality Management Division, I was tapped to help build the body of knowledge for quality managers. So I'm quality manager number 11. So it's been fun working. I know, I'm old. And it's been really, really fun working on the exam and working with the body of knowledge and seeing it. That's been wonderful. And then also, as I was chair, we had the opportunity of sort of adopting the Certified Quality Improvement Associate body of knowledge because it had no real division that owned it. And so I was able to play, again, Aunt Grace or grandmother to the CQIA exam, and subsequently ended up writing the review guide, the Certified Quality Improvement Associate Handbook. And now that I co-author it with others, and I'll be handing that off. So being involved in ASQ, I've written 18 books. Most of them have been published by Quality Press. Denis has already mentioned Doug's authorship. I've been an ASQ instructor on courses that have been written based on the books that I've written. I've been able to present, over 260 presentations and papers and all sorts of things, because there are ways to publish within ASQ. So you get your name out. You'll find that after you've been involved in ASQ, you can Google yourself on Google or on LinkedIn, and you really show up. So Jerry's right, the contacts get to be really fantastic. And other than the leadership training, growth on the ASQ board, working with the Office of the President, being a vice chair for 4 years, ASQ Fellow, Distinguished Service Medal. There are wonderful things that look good on a resume. And the other piece is my ASQ contacts got me into the Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt before ASQ even created the exam. So there are a lot of contacts that come with being involved in Quality Management Division, and the visibility and the leadership training is phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. So we'll move on to the second question now. As whatever we do, there are successes and there are challenges. So my next question to the chairs would be, what successes and wins have you seen? And I will start by asking this to Ellen.
Thanks, Shobha. You know, we already mentioned, and everyone's done such a wonderful job today in providing lots of information about QMD. We're, the largest ASQ division. That you can't, that's a pretty big win, and because that's just who we are. We have a large number of volunteers. Jerry was mentioning that we have a large team. I think that's a success. And another win is a very recent win, and you'll hear more about it as we work through it. But QMD was instrumental in working with 4 other divisions, and we're actually going to be putting together a joint divisions virtual conference for next year, July. And the 5 divisions are working together, and that you think, oh, well, that's only 5 divisions. That is huge. That's a win. So we're looking for that. We were instrumental in organizing it and bringing the divisions together to make the event happen. So stay tuned. So thanks, Shobha.
You're welcome. And thank you, Ellen. So I'm going to now go to Louis for the response, please.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing. The was the volunteers program, the webinars, and then and follow up through with our virtual conference coming up, with the other divisions. Some of them don't have the power to put on a virtual conference. And it goes back to what I said earlier. Look at after action reports. QMD put one on with software division back in 21, right?
That's correct.
Or rather 19. And so a few years ago during COVID. And so now we've got 5 divisions, all right? And so it's going to be over a 3-day period from 10 to 3 in the afternoon. And some of you are on the call who are not aware. So it's coming. So, and there'll be a call for papers soon.
Yep.
So that's a big win.
Thank you, Louis. Jerry, your successes.
Okay, yeah. So now we're going back into history. So as we get going here. So, yeah. So during when I was chair, what we were able to do is we actually started using video conferencing for the first time for our monthly division leadership meetings. So that was something that you wouldn't think it was such a big deal, but I think it helped us come together as a team instead of just being on a video or a conference call. So I think that was a success. We stood up our MySQ community site, which our old website was on its last leg, right on the verge of dying, right when ASQ or MySQ came on. We also had Bill Highway start up, so that was how we manage our finances. And then we also stood up the content management committees. So those were like the main things that I would consider successes during our time when I was chair.
Thank you, Jerry. So we now move on to the next question, which is what challenges and needs have you seen? I'll start with Ellen again.
Yeah, thanks, Shobha. We always have challenges, and like one of the big ones is like keeping our members engaged and recruiting new ones. We're always looking for volunteers to join us. Like I said, we love our volunteers, and I really mean that. And the other big challenge we always have, and you can imagine this, is ensuring that we have a sufficient budget to successfully meet all of our project goals. But besides that, we kind of just work through everything, and we like to hear from all of our members. And I'll turn it over. I think Denis is going to be the next one, right? Right, Shobha?
Yes.
Yeah. So Denis.
Thanks, Ellen. Yeah, we a couple of things I'm especially proud of was during my tenure, we started these town halls with all of you, and also started collaborating across different divisions. There's 25 divisions, so we would get together quarterly and share ideas. And I know I speak for all of us here when I say that we do this because we have a love of ASQ, and by extension, we have a love for the membership, and because all of us live for the members, everything we do has to be member focused. One of the biggest challenges I found was in the last few years, this happened about halfway through my term, we no longer had access to member lists. They were being held by headquarters, and then we would send, you've probably seen our email blasts and other things that we used to send directly, and now they have to go through sort of a headquarters person. It's not the end of the world, but it inhibits our ability to sort of speak with you directly. And the other challenge, on the other hand, is then it makes it a little bit more difficult for you to find us, So it was my personal crusade to try to make sure that all of us were giving out, a personal email addresses for members to contact, so that networking I spoke of could really be manifest. So our challenge is just making sure that we continue to have the strong presence that we've always had, the strong leadership role in terms of member outreach. It's no accident that we have 55% of members, right? It's because we're doing something right, and we want to make sure we preserve that. So that was the biggest challenge for me, was really this change from sort of a division-led, volunteer-led outreach to members through this sort of filter, which made it a little more difficult for us to do that.
Thank you, Denis. JD, you're next.
So building on what Ellen and Denis already said, we really need to reach out and engage the current members as well as new potential members. In our content management committee, what we do is we actually present and share content across other organizations and in other venues. This allows people outside of the community of ASQ to see what we can do and what we can offer. So this helps to bring in and attract new people and talent. But once they're in, how do we retain? How do we keep their interest engaged so that they want to come back over and over and over again? Along with that, we need to be able to sustain our volunteers, their engagement and their interest, so that they want to research, find, develop, create, and put the content out there like we do today. These are our biggest challenges. People tell us what they want and need, and we have the bandwidth to provide a lot of it, but not all of it by ourselves. So Thank you for the webinar content. Please go to the My ASQ website. Doug's got them all listed on there. We've got lots and lots of really strong webinars and content material. But from our challenges, we need you as volunteers, please. Help us help each other so that we can continue to make a difference across the world. Thank you.
Well, thank you, JD. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Doug for our second segment of this town hall today. Doug, over to you.
Okay, well, thank you, all you chairs. Now, this is your chance to answer questions from the audience, okay? And I think what we want right now is for those of you in the audience to be putting your questions into chat. Shobha is going to be collecting those questions and sort of assembling them. I have a couple of questions that we received beforehand, okay? You know, one of them, and I'm going to direct this one to Denis, okay? This person says, back about 10 years ago, I heard a prediction that internal quality auditing would merge with internal financial auditing. I haven't heard of this happening much in manufacturing. What has happened lately in various industry sectors, and what it will likely happen in the future?
Great question. I guess Doug gave that one to me because I've spent most of my career as an auditor. I heard a similar thing maybe 20 years ago. I don't think that will happen. The skill sets for financial audit and for sort of operational audit, quality audit, they're different enough. And I don't think that they will merge. Fun fact, when I started my career as an auditor, I was at KPMG. You'll recognize KPMG as a financial audit firm. They actually took on quality management auditing because they thought it was a natural fit. 6 years later, they sold that division. They discovered that it wasn't as much a fit. So my personal opinion would be, I don't think it's a good fit. They're different skill sets.
Okay, thanks, Denis. And that is a bit of confusion that sometimes you hear when you're teaching auditors in quality. Okay, so my next question here, I'm going to give this one to Grace. This person says they're a new ASQ member. They have about 8 years experience in software quality engineering, and they recently completed their certified quality engineer certification. Grace, is there any advice you can provide this person?
Well, and there was a second part to that question. Read the
Yes,
number 3.
Right, sorry.
Yeah, there's two parts to that one.
So it says, I'm looking forward to move to quality engineering in pharmaceutical. Do you have some insights on how to move into the pharma domain? What skill set and certification would help there?
Well, there are a couple of really golden eggs that you've got in there. Number one, your software engineering, you understand process, you understand SIPOC, you understand how systems work together. I started out in IBM and I understood those systems as well. So as a quality engineer, we work with process. Everything that you hand off as a supplier as one module to another in software engineering and one component to another in software engineering is so much the same as what we do in value stream mapping and supply chain mapping for quality engineering. So you've already got a phenomenal step up for that. The other thing that I have noticed in my years with ASQ is that well, for one thing, you can join more than one division at a time, and they're free now. They used to cost $10 a piece. So now you just go back into ASQ.org and add another division. So I would say join Food, Drug, and Cosmetics division as well. Quality Management Division is going to keep you at the forefront of the leadership, the strategic planning, the organizational design and systems. But the pharmaceutical is going to give you the contacts and help you to try to transfer your skills. The other thing is in the software engineering, you can help them in their My ASQ website setup. You can help them so much in a lot of the systems and the data kind of material that every division needs. So you can volunteer there with the skills that you've got now while you're making the other contacts.
Okay, Thank you, Grace. Excellent answer. Another question here is, again, I think this one is perhaps to Denis, although some of you others might have something to add to this one as well. Here's a question. It seems to me that ASQ hasn't done enough to market the value of ASQ training and certification. Well, true in other subfields like quality control, and is also true in quality management. Now, in contrast, they mentioned PMI, Project Management Institute, has done a better job in communicating the value of project management training and certification. So what can QMD do to help communicate the value of quality management certification and expertise?
So I have an answer in terms of what we can do better, but I thought I could share just an example of where that's true. When we would see advertisements, let's say for jobs, we would want to see that if you're going to be hired into a quality position, that you have certifications, and we've not always seen that enough. A great irony is, in fact, ASQ itself, when ASQ itself wants to hire people for roles within the society, kind of at the staff level, they don't even say, ASQ certifications preferred, which I've actually found kind of strange. But I do agree with the perception that question is based on. I did a survey last year of mostly ASQ members, and actually it was about what qualifications would you look for if you were going to hire an internal auditor. And I gave 10 choices, and ASQ certification did not even crack the top 5, which I found surprising, especially from most survey respondents were ASQ members themselves, many of which might have had a certified quality auditor designation. So I'm not sure how we can make it better. I do agree with the caller that it does need to be made better, and maybe ASQ putting ASQ certifications preferred in its own hiring want ads would be a great place to start.
Luis had his hand up. Luis, you seem to have a burning need here.
Yes. So this is a challenge that the board has presented to the CEO and to marketing several times. And it's interesting that when we look at some of the Apex certifications, CQE, CQMOE, auditing, okay, those take, to even sit for the exam require, a 4-year degree or 8 years in the field. When we look at CQT, CQ, whatever, some of these other ones, only they don't, okay? So while we're trying to attract members into ASQ or some of those exams or certifications, what is it we're marketing to? We're marketing to someone, just to join ASQ, okay? And then some of those entry-level exams that don't require recertification. So when we're looking at CQM, CQE, CQA, and others, those are longer term. So what is marketing trying to attract? Just entry, get into ASQ. Now PMI, again, 4 years of degree or what have you, but project management, but they market for the APM, okay? Now, where does marketing want to spend its money? Membership, and not necessarily certifications. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle. What is it that we're trying to attract? Okay. Now, I also said, look at SHRM. When we look at SHRM, Society for Human Resources Management, okay, when we look at some of the recs for, again, project managers, some of those recs say must be PMI certified. It didn't say PMP or what have you, but some PMI certified. Okay, SHRM, how about adding an ASQ certification? Those are where we're trying to target. Again, this is with the board. This is with ASQ itself. QMD, what can we do? That's a challenge. Okay, we understand that. And I have a burning desire to see that change. I see JD wants to enter into the discussion as well.
Yeah, JD, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, so on the certification side, if you guys get your Quality Progress magazine, I'm still old-fashioned. I get the paper copy. The reason why I do that is because I take these with me to Europe and Asia, where you can't sometimes get them or get them online. And I spread them across the world. But in this month's edition is the salary survey. And you can see very clearly the impact and the effect of certifications on one's salary if you're a quality professional. So I agree with Luisa's feedback that it's who they're trying to focus on right now, but we still need to remember where this profession is at and how we help ourselves to be effective in what we do. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, and I go back to modeling. We out there, we can model and then help others who say, like I got first introduced, have you thought about ASQ? Have you thought about a certification?
If I could just add a little piece here, I'm often teaching classes for ASQ, and I know some of our stored webinars on our YouTube channel. I've got those links, and when I'm teaching a class, I'll say, "Oh, you want to know more about measurement systems analysis? Here's a video by JD Marhevko. You can watch it, and other videos, and I use those." And I spread them around. So we can each do a little bit through contact with others. Okay. Shobha, did you have any questions from the audience?
Yes, I've been sending it to you directly in the chat, Doug. So if you go to
okay.
it direct, you'll find them all.
All right.
Hey, Doug, there was one question about how someone asked how they could be a volunteer. Can you I'll post my email in the chat. Email me and we'll connect you. We have 2 VCs of QMD member volunteers. They coordinate all of our volunteers. So I will do that. But it's easier just for me to put my email, then I'll make sure that they both get it.
We will grab him and consume him quickly.
I know. Because we have a whole process for that, because we want everyone to be successful as a volunteer. So you get to talk to me and Luis, all our volunteers, anyone who is interested, we set up a time and you talk to both of us.
But Ellen, I thought everybody that attended was automatically volunteering.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
I'm sorry.
You want
That was the other
share
meeting.
share the Word document. I've been collecting the questions. Would that be easier?
Sorry, Shobha, say again.
Share the screen of the Word document and questions, Doug, for you
yeah.
to ask it away.
Okay.
Put my email in there.
Sorry, I don't have that handy. Sorry.
There was one question on the World Conference presentations. You have an opportunity for the World Conference to buy the presentation package. I don't know about a few years ago if those are still available for sale. I would recommend that you call ASQ headquarters. It's somebody can help you and direct you there immediately, I'm sure. But typically, if you attend World Conference in person, part of your purchasing fee, you are eligible to get all of the recordings for a certain time frame after the conference. If you don't attend, you can still buy the package separately. But from a few years ago, you would need to call ASQ and they could probably help you one way or the other.
Okay, Doug, can you see this on the screen to ask?
Oh, yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Good.
We have current health. How do you feel the current health of ASQ at the local section level, and how would you describe an ideal local section operation? Who would like to do that one?
We can do
I can take that one.
JD has her hand up.
JD, okay.
The local sections are really struggling. People have a hard time going to these face-to-face now. And some sections are stronger than others. There's about 250 sections across North America, United States, Canada, and perhaps 1 or 2 in Mexico. But it's hard for them to get people to come. They need speakers. They need people to present and share content at their meetings. Many of them do their meetings virtually. I'm a member of 2 different sections. I'm with Detroit and Ann Arbor. And I do heavily participate in them virtually because typically I'm traveling and I can't physically go. But an ideal local section operation is one that meets the needs of both, you know, those that need virtual attendance and those that need physical attendance, but also to be very relevant in providing content that affects the local people. Many of these sections have great jobs boards so that the local businesses can connect and network with that local group to say, these are the types of opportunities in the area. Having those local job boards Texas is really, really good on this. So is, I believe, Wisconsin section. But anything that they can do to help with those connections, I think would really be more ideal for the local members.
Okay. We had a new one posted in the chat. I would kind of caught my eye. This is from Sitaram Kandupa, Kandarpa, sorry.
Well, hey, Sitharam, yeah, he's actually our CMC lead for the customer-focused organization.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't recognize the name. So the question was, what is the strategy of QMD to prepare our members to leverage the benefits of data science and AI in quality management area in all industries?
That's a good question.
So we do have in our quality management division a CMC, a content management committee that deals with quality 4.0 and digitization.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's John.
So John Cachet leads that team right now, and it's a very strong and active team. So we're doing a lot in there. We actually just created an entire quality management forum with our lead editor Sandy Lowe, and they
Sandy Furterer, Dr. Sandy Furterer.
Sandy Furterer, sorry.
It's okay.
My Sandys are mixed up.
Sandys, right?
But it's on our, and you can pick out the forum and it gives you all kinds of content and material on digitization and quality 4.0. But that's what we're dealing with it in our division level.
I saw that's the winter forum, correct? Or is that the summer one? The winter forum, I saw John was the first article. Yeah.
Yeah, that's getting posted today, actually, to my ASQ.
Oh, so. Great. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, that was very well done.
And we've had a lot of interest in that.
Okay. Well, and can I mention something, Doug? We have a lot of people, and I love this. They want to volunteer. I posted my email. If you didn't see it, and maybe you can type it on the main screen here, Doug. It's ecquinn@comcast.net. If you email me, I will put you in contact with our two VCs, like what Jerry was mentioning. It's sort of like our HR department. You know, they're the ones that do the recruiting and coordinating. We have conversations with me and Luis. Luis is because he's our chair-elect. And we like to talk to everybody because, like I said, we want all of our volunteers to be successful. And if you are interested in other divisions, I saw somebody who's interested in automotive. Automotive has their own division. And I happen to know the chair, so we can always connect you with other divisions. Yeah, absolutely.
So for question 11 on there, how do we support members in advancing their careers? One of the things that ASQ does have that's pretty strong is a mentor program. The certifications there's about 17 now. They just issued a new certification for construction professionals. And specialized training, again, you can get those paths identified. There's a paths method of which certifications would help you best on whatever your professional path is. If you're in biomed, automotive, aerospace, reliability, whatever your track is. But the mentor program is pretty incredible. A lot of people sign up to be mentees and other people sign up to be mentors and they get cross-matched. I currently have 3 mentees that I work with and all of them, I'm dealing with them on their careers and what they're doing today. I actually meet with one of my mentees tomorrow at noon. So there's methods out there for you to get help.
Right.
Go to the main ASQ page for certifications to see the certifications and specialized.
Right.
To answer that question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
There's a
I have
question.
question for you. What, can they not raise their hand and unmute themselves to ask it directly?
Sure, if they like to, absolutely. We can do that,
That's
right?
fine,
Right,
yeah.
Doug? Oh, actually, can I answer the last question? Because there was a question about how does QMD cater to the construction industry? There actually, that would be, there's going to be a brand new, I believe, certification.
It's already
Is there-
issued.
Yeah, issued, because we're actually working with the DCI, that's, what is that called? Design, construction, and what's the I stand for? I
Industry.
don't remember.
Industry.
Industry, thank you.
They
Thank
have-
you. That
they have a
division,
division.
because they have that certification.
They have a division.
Yeah, that's a division, right? I think that's the division, right?
Yeah, right
Construction
there.
division?
Yeah, Dennis answered it.
Oh, thank you. They have that, and like I said, and there was a lot of questions about volunteer and how much time. Basically, that's why we talk to you. Luis and I talk with each person who's interested, because there are, if you only have a few hours, whatever, there's always something that we could use help with, always.
I'm going to put Ellen on the spot. When you're asking about volunteering in other divisions, reach out to Ellen or Luis, and they can put you in touch with the current chairs of med device
Yeah.
division, government,
them.
automotive, etc. We want to spread the love, eh? We love our volunteers, but we want you to find
Right.
the right fit for you in other divisions too.
Right. We usually ask you to stay with QMD, but you can also work with other divisions. But that, because we do. Luis and I actually hold joint division conference calls every quarter, and we talk to all the chairs. And we're going to start that up again probably January or February. And that way, we always ask, and they always ask us. They reach out to us and say, we need some volunteers. We had one division that didn't even have anyone they could have for their chair elect. So it gets pretty tight sometimes where they don't have enough people who volunteer, enough members. We're happy to help. So what else? Did people?
There is a question here. Can you share some key initiatives or projects the division is currently working on?
Okay.
Projects that we're working on right now. What are our big deals in QMD?
Well, the one big deal is a joint divisions virtual conference. We're heavily involved with that. Plus, we have a lot of the folks you see here, a lot of the past chairs, they're actually going to be presenting at other conferences. So we're kind of spreading the word of ASQ, like Denis, and I know Grace goes and speaks. And you were in, was it the UK or was it Ireland? I can't remember, Grace.
I was in the
But-
UK. Yeah, I spoke to the local London section at the University of London.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
Right. So those are our projects. And then JD, that woman, she travels the world, and she's like the voice of QMD when she goes out, she travels. So
Yeah, I had a phenomenal opportunity last year where I was invited by the Ministry of Transportation in China to present at their international quality conference.
wow.
And they paid for me to come out there and everything. And that looked really good on my resume, by the way. Was able to do
You've
the
got
same.
India coming up too, right?
I have India coming up, yes. So India has also asked me in the beginning of next year to do theirs. But overall, we have our content management committees, and this is how we drive communication and content across the world. And these are very, very global teams. We have many, many people from different countries that are subject matter experts in these different subject matters. And we help put together, we find the information that's out there, we source it, we write our own if we feel that something's missing, and then we put it back out there to everybody so you can find it. And we either put it in an article, or we put it in a WebEx webinar, or we put it in a face-to-face conference session so that it's accessible to anybody, anywhere, whenever they can use it, like Jerry had mentioned. So we have How many active content management committee meetings do we have right now, Ellen?
We have all of them except we are missing only one of them. The supplier management is the only one that's open. All the other ones are filled. Plus, we actually have a subject matter expert, Dr. Herman Tang from Eastern Michigan University, who serves across all of the content management.
My kids
So,
both
yeah.
went to Eastern.
I
Yay.
know. And I actually went there for part of my undergraduate degree. So, yeah, I love EMU, as I used to call it, Eastern
In
Michigan.
total, we have 7.
So thank you very much.
There's
And
another
we do coordinate with all the other divisions too. So
If I
I'd
could,
question.
Shobha, if I could mention one more thing. There's been a couple of mentions in here of cost of quality. And I want to tell folks there's 2 things happening at ASQ in cost of quality. One of them is the book, Principles of Quality Cost. We've got a proposal in to do a new edition of that. Okay. And I'm working with Fraser Pruitt out of Rochester, New York, to kind of coordinate with that. He and I are going to co-edit that. The other thing is our friends at ASQE, and Jerry can stop me if I'm going to get too overwhelmed here, but ASQE has that IOE survey, right? You guys have seen that, Internet of Excellence, and next year, they're adding a new segment to that survey on the cost of quality. So that cost of quality thing might be a new deal, an old deal coming back again. We can hope.
So,
Yeah, and just
Nadine-
as a correction, Doug, I hate to correct you, but it's Insights on Excellence.
Oh, sorry, my
That's
mistake.
fine.
Insights on Excellence. Yeah.
it's okay. I think JD wants to add too. So
I was going to answer the question that has asked in the chat. And does the Quality Management Division have leverage to propose to ASQ leadership to offer many workshops on inline training for topics like MSA, measurement system analysis, Six Sigma, and other quality tools? Primarily the certificate programs like the Certified Quality Engineer or the CMQOE, the Certified Manager Quality of Organizational Excellence, or the Certified Six Sigma Master Black Belt. Those have those within those certifications, but we do regularly run webinars on these pieces. So if you want something special, reach into us and we can probably coordinate something with you. But we do have separate webinars on most of these already in the our MyASQ site that Doug can probably put more content around on the screen for everybody so you can find it easily. But we do have those pieces available as separate lessons, but those are largely within the certifications themselves.
And I'd also like to add that if you don't have access to MyASQ, all of our webinars are also on the Quality Management Division YouTube channel. So just type in Quality Management Division and it should bring up that channel with all of our webinars.
Great point, Jerry. Thank you.
Another question is how government policies are encouraging for quality management or initiatives like excellence framework adapted by US government, because it is going to help a cost of poor quality eventually lead to sustainable natural resources. Any comment there?
I think we could look to the NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technologies. They run the Baldrige Performance Excellence Award. And there are many institutions that are following that structure to improve their systems. I'm actually cross-supporting a few teams there in some areas in the state of Michigan. But the point is that there are different states and different countries as well. About 90 countries have adopted the performance excellence model, PEX, which is based on the Baldrige system. And they're industry specific sometimes within education, manufacturing. Governments are a little bit slow to catch up, but they are starting to pay attention now.
right, we do have a government division as well,
We
and
do.
yeah,
Mr. Weeks. Yep.
yeah, Dr. Rhonda Farrell and Shruti Patel, I think her last name is. They're both, yeah. Yeah, so we, if anyone's interested in that, we can get you in contact with them. So, sorry, Grace. You had
Oh,
your
no,
hand up.
not sorry at all, but I'm quite involved with the government division as well. I've gotten involved in the Center for Electoral Quality and Integrity. And there is a major project to assess some of the local supervisors of election after the recent election process. I've already just written a short article for the government division newsletter on the observations of a poll watcher. And I have appointments next month with the supervisor of elections of a county in Florida to use an assessment based on an election integrity paper that ASQ published in 2021 after the previous election. And then we also will look at any of the changes and the process, best practice that we can find in some of the counties in Florida recently. So yes, there's a lot of overlap in what the government division is doing and what quality management is doing in risk management and in security and in safety and in integrity in what we do.
And they're one division we're working with for the Joint Divisions Conference too. Love that division. Thanks, Grace.
Well,
And
we'll
how
take one
you had
final-
sorry, Shobha, Grace, you had a presentation yesterday. I'm
I
hoping
did.
that went well.
I did.
So-
I did. We thank you. I appreciate that. Excuse me.
Sorry, Shobha.
So
So-
I placed a link in there, the My ASQ site for QMD, where we have all of our webinar recordings sorted out. As Jerry said, it's also available via YouTube. YouTube is how we reach out to non-ASQ members, but My ASQ is more internal.
Can we take one final question before we then wrap up the program? So they're saying, is there any app being introduced to improve access to ASQ resources?
I can answer that. The answer is yes, but I can't say any more about it.
Oh,
But it's going to be good.
there you go. There's a
I love
project
it.
going
I
on in
love it.
2025. All right. Love it.
All right, so we are at 12:26. I'd like to wrap up, and then once I do my housekeeping wrap up, then I'll invite the chairs to say any final word of wisdom, any final comment they have. So first, I want to thank all the chairs for making it convenient to be here and to take all the questions and to just share what QMD is all about, what can we do better, how can we become volunteer, etc. So really thank you a lot for doing it. I also want to thank you to all the participants who made it convenient to join us. You will be receiving an email within 48 hours from us that will document your 0.5 RU for attending this event. And we will be announcing 5 lucky winners, and they'll be getting a $20 Visa gift card from us. Doug will be coordinating that. And I also want to say congratulations right now to those lucky winners, because we will not have the opportunity of saying that. With that, I invite the chairs to give us any final comment. We still have 3 minutes into it. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. And it's always wonderful to see some of the excellent people, our past chairs and our chair-elect on the call today.
Thank you. And we got some faraway visitors in time zone. So we appreciate folks who got up early or stayed up late with us to share their thoughts with us. And of course, our panelists and chairs, past chairs. And we appreciate the wisdom that's been shared with us.
I'd like to say for people, and thank you very much. Sorry, Dennis.
No, just thanks everybody for coming, and we appreciate you carving out 90 minutes of your precious time to be with us. We hope that we're doing everything we can to meet your needs, and please continue to reach out and demand from us that we meet those needs for you, whatever they are.
Thank you, everybody, for being here, and tell us how we can help you, help each other. Happy holidays, safe, warm, and whether you do or don't, please have a safe season. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Jared. Hey, Shobha and Doug, one One comment, any of the questions, can you make sure they're all printed and just get them to me so we can make sure they all get answered?
I think it's a Control C and you can capture the entire chat.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Control A or Control C. We learned that one time.
Yeah. So if you could do that, that way I want to make sure that, because there was a few that we didn't get a chance to answer. I want to make sure we answer the question.
I thought we did get almost all of them, Ellen.
We
but
did. There were a
might be
couple
some.
that we did. So yeah, I
Okay.
just want to make sure because anyway, but
I
thanks.
didn't answer the one about what do I do? I have two small boys. So
Yeah,
I was tempted to try.
because we actually
Oh,
have
no.
we have someone that's one of our volunteers on the VC publications. She's a guest editor. It's Denis. She has 3 little ones, and
Wow, dear woman.
and she volunteers, and she's
Wow.
the editor of the forum. So
Well, and there's so much we can do virtually now.
that's
And
right.
it really helps. You can just take 20 minutes while the kids are hopefully are taking a nap.
Yep.
Yeah, and
yep.
somebody wants to bring the conference to Canada. Hey, yeah, we all want to do that. We love Toronto.
Yeah, now we have to have a
Not this
passport.
time of year though.
Not this time of year.
Can I please request you all, those who are attending, to please attend to the survey that you received from us? That would really go a very long way in just discussing us and doing a little bit better. I'm going to put that link right now in the chat. The very last minute, but I'll do it. There we